Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Layo Adegoke. President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria is in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, for the 35th session of the Assembly of AU Heads of State and Government. He was received by the Ethiopian Minister of Education, Professor Behanu Nega. According to a statement by the president's spokesperson, Femi Adesina, President Buhari, who is on a 4-day trip, is joining other African leaders in finding solutions to political, economic and social challenges facing the country. President Buhari has said the poor and vulnerable in the country remain top priority for protection and will continue to benefit from social safety nets. He was speaking at the virtual official presentation of the Country Review Report of Nigeria at the 31st Africa Peer Review Forum of the African Union. He also said the government will take advantage of information, communication and technology to create more opportunities. The president, in his presentation, highlighted the country's strategic focus as she sets out to achieve the objectives of the African Union Agenda 2023. He reiterates that Nigeria has remained a committed and dedicated member of the African peer review family after acceding to the mechanism in 2003. West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS will be deploying troops to Guinea-Bissau to help stabilize the country after this week's attempted coup. The bloc made the announcement after a summit held in Accra, Ghana, adding that the force will help prevent any attempted coups in future. ECOWAS deployed troops into Guinea-Bissau from 2012 to 2020 after a coup. Well, after the failed coup this week, President Umaru Sissoco Embalo says that stability has been restored in his country. Joining us now for more is Professor Victor Ariole of the French and Francophone Studies at the University of Lagos. Thank you so much, Professor, for speaking to us. Let me begin with this question. Do you trust the plan of ECOWAS in sending troops to help prevent, any attempted coups in future in Guinea-Bissau?
Well, it's not with Guinea-Bissau. It's quite possible because they are just 2 million in population and very close to Cape Verde, who are in support of how best to govern. They are not part of the terrorist invaded countries. In their own case, it's about so the military people will be to give back. And we know Nigeria has done that before. Nigeria has done that by sending General Obasanjo to really intervene, and it was successful. And I expect that to happen as long as ECOWAS has a free mind and not biased against the opposition, because sometimes when the opposition is not happy about the government in power, they find a way also of creating problem for the government in power. And so these are things ECOWAS is supposed to take into consideration. Good governance, good governance, good governance. If there is good governance, there will be less a problem in terms of acrimony in the country.
Well, speaking about good governance, President Umaru Embalo has said, stability has now been restored to his country. What does this mean for the country? Are they now in the clear?
Well, I'm not sure. As I told you, when you look at the position of Guinea-Bissau, very close to Cape Verde, they are all in Atlantic Ocean. And it's a Portuguese colony or former Portuguese colony. Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, they are all within the Gulf of Guinea, and they operate very, very differently from whatever other people are suffering from. And they have Brazil, which is a bigger, broader in terms of Portuguese colonized country, in the other side of Atlantic Ocean, where this cocaine trafficking and the drug trafficking goes on smoothly. And so it's like a battle of drug oligarchs, and it's completely different. I'm sure that he is very, very clear as of today in terms of not having people to invade or having opposition or bad people to invade him, being close to Atlantic Ocean, having link with Cape Verde. But it's still good if ECOWAS will really intervene and really help them to really stabilize. It will be very interesting, and we expect that to happen. Because Cape Verde is just a small country. It's not a problematic country as well.
All right then, Professor Victor Ariole of the French and Francophone Studies at UNILAG, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Scientists in South Africa have made a copy of the Moderna COVID vaccine, a move which they say could help boost vaccination rates across Africa. The continent currently has the lowest uptake of COVID shots in the world. Well, the company behind this new vaccine, Afrigen Biologics, says it hopes to start clinical trials in November. Now, this vaccine is also the first mRNA vaccine designed, developed and produced at lab scale on the African continent.
A South African company has made its own COVID-19 vaccine. The company called Afrigen says it used Moderna data to design, develop and produce the first mRNA-type vaccine for COVID-19 on the African continent. It would mean a cheaper, patent-free version of the shot. The WHO hired the company last year, one of several chosen in a pilot program to help low- and middle-income countries crack the code of COVID vaccines. UN health official Charles Gore says Afrigen should help change perceptions about African nations' capabilities.
If this project shows that Africa can take cutting-edge technology and produce cutting-edge products with it, that will banish this idea Africa can't do it. And I hope that will really change the global mindset around Africa. And understanding that, yes, this is about empowering Africa. This is not about philanthropy to Africa.
Afrigen used the publicly available sequence of Moderna's mRNA vaccine. However, the company's managing director, Petro Tablanche, made it clear it's a uniquely designed vaccine.
Moderna sequence 1273, discovered by Stanford University and being completely in the public domain, and we forward integrate making a vaccine with our own processes, partnering with its university, our own knowledge base and public domain information that the team would extract, interpret and utilize.
WHO launched the project after Pfizer, BioNTech and Moderna declined their request to share tech and expertise. However, Moderna pledged not to enforce patents during the pandemic. Moderna is yet to comment on Afrigen's Thursday announcement. The WHO hopes its hub in Cape Town will help overcome vaccine inequalities between rich and poor countries. Some 99% of Africa's vaccines against all diseases are imported, and the negligible remainder is manufactured locally. Afrigen announced its vaccine could be tested on humans before the end of the year.
Opposition members of parliament in Uganda have staged a walkout from parliament in protest of the illegal detention and torture of Ugandans. On Thursday, more than 100 MPs, led by the opposition leader Matthias Mpuga, said they would not sit back and watch their colleagues and supporters suffer. The MPs walked out after their request for a debate about the detentions was denied by the Speaker, who says it would have to wait until next week. They say they will stay away until the issue is listed for discussion. Two opposition members of parliament have been in detention since last year, accused of being behind killings by a machete-wielding gang. Allegations, they say, are politically motivated. Well, the United Nations has been providing updates on Tuesday's attack in the province of Ituri in the Democratic Republic of Congo. United Nations spokesperson Farhan Haq says peacekeepers continue to conduct patrols in the area and are reinforcing their temporary operating base in the area with troops from Bunia. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, in a statement, had strongly condemned the attacks by Codeco militia against the site for internally displaced people. They killed at least 50 people.
On Tuesday's attack in the province of Ituri in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, UN peacekeepers are continuing to conduct robust patrols in the area. They've also reinforced their temporary operating base in the area with troops from Bunia. These additional troops will focus on providing security around the Savo site for displaced people, the one attacked earlier this week. Yesterday, the UN mission mobilized 2 helicopters to facilitate the medical evacuation to Bunia of 19 wounded civilians, while humanitarian workers provided medical supplies. MONUSCO, the UN mission, is also telling us that they have maintained communication with the military governor of the province of Ituri to discuss security arrangements and an increased presence of national security forces. The mission also engaged with the territorial administrator and key stakeholders at the local and provincial levels, including leaders of the Hema and Lendu communities, to urge them to intervene to de-escalate tensions and prevent an increase of communal violence in the Jugo territory, where the Savo IDP site is located. The UN Refugee Agency and the International Organization for Migration expressed their horror at Tuesday's attack. IOM and UNHCR teams in Ituri are coordinating with other humanitarian actors to scale up the emergency response. The site, which is managed by UNHCR and partner Caritas, hosted more than 20,000 displaced people, including more than 13,000 children. Many of the site's residents have fled to Boulay town, 3 kilometers away.
11 sailors have been rescued from a Mauritian tanker after it suffered engine trouble and began to drift towards Reunion Island. That's a French territory in the Indian Ocean where it ran aground. It took more than 6 hours to recover the entire crew of the Tresta Star, which got into trouble on Thursday night. The ship was partially stuck on the reefs, and that made operations difficult, as well as the weather conditions linked to the effect of Cyclone Batsirai. Officials say the 11 survivors are now safe and have returned to nearby Mauritius early on Friday and are being looked after by a medical team. Still to come on the program. Control your home, devices and appliances from anywhere in the world with this smart home tech by a Nigerian engineer. Welcome back to the program. Ethiopia's Lalibela town in the Amhara region of northern Ethiopia is known for its distinctive rock-cut churches dating from the 12th and 13th century, which are pilgrim sites for Coptic Christians and has hosted pilgrims visiting the town's famous rock churches. Well, today, having changed hands several times in the Tigray conflict, the town and its residents are struggling to heal.
Broken glass on the stairs and blood on the walls. This is the Cliff Edge Hotel, a place where pilgrims once rested while visiting Ethiopia's Lalibela. But the holy town and its shell-shocked residents are struggling to recover. Lalibela, whose rock churches are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has changed hands several times in a war between fighters from the northern Tigray region and the government forces and their allies. The head of Lalibela's Industry and Investment Bureau says more than 20 hotels were looted and destroyed.
More than 20 hotels have been completely destroyed. We have collected evidence that close to 260 million birr worth of property was damaged. For example, this very hotel we are standing in, the Roha Hotel, is among those that sustained heavy damage. More than 20 hotels were damaged in total in this town. More than 1,246 people who were employed in these hotels are now jobless.
Melek Alabel manages the Cliff Edge Hotel. He says remembering the past glory and seeing the rubble today makes him wish he had never known what it was once like.
I can't describe the feeling with words. You wish you were not part of it when you remember its past glory, the ambience, the beauty, and then this rubble. You wish you hadn't seen it before. It is not something I can describe with words.
War broke out between the federal military forces loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front in November 2020. Lalibela, located in Amara, close to Tigray's southern border, was first captured by the Tigrayans on August 5th. The military and its allies retook the town at the start of December, only for Tigrayan forces to recapture it briefly on December 12th before being pushed out again. The once prosperous town now lacks electricity, and it's not just buildings that carry the scars of war, families also carry wounds within them.
Well, over 80 paramount chiefs from across South Sudan have gathered to help end and prevent grave violations against children in armed conflicts through a capacity-building workshop. Well, this is a collaborative effort between the United Nations mission in South Sudan and the South Sudan's Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Body. The three-day knowledge and skills building workshop in the capital, Juba, is built on a government-led action plan that was signed in early 2020, aimed at ending and preventing 6 grave violations against children in the country.
Development for this country begins at the community. It is at the community level that the traditional leaders can play a critical role for fostering peace, for ensuring that at the community level there is peace for children to go to school, peace for children to grow, for them to thrive, and for them to reach their fullest development potential. You are very important to the future of South Sudan. It is important for us to stress here that although we are discussing the issues of grave violations, talking about killing, talking about maiming, abductions, rape, attack on schools, on hospitals, we're talking about all these grave violations, but at the end of the day, we're talking about the future of South Sudan.
The role of chief in this country is more important. And the government of South Sudan is aware. During the time of liberation struggle, the chief of South Sudan played a great role of mobilizing youth to fight for the independence of South Sudan. And that's why we have South Sudan today. If we didn't have you as chief, we are not going to have a country called South Sudan. But with you, now, your voice is heard, and that's why we have peace today, again in South Sudan. Therefore, the issue of children, with you, we believe the child right violation will stop. Because every community that we have all the chiefs in the bayams, in the counties, and in the bomas. And nobody will come there and do anything without your information. If you take this information well as our chief, we know South Sudan will change in terms of child right violations. And once we achieve this, we'll have a great country.
Welcome to our Africa Tech segment. A Nigerian tech engineer, Onyeka Onwuka, is helping people save power consumption and cut down electricity bills in their homes. By developing Smart Oval app, users can automate their home devices and appliances, controlling them wherever they are in the world.
Open the gates.
When Onyeka Onwuka walks into his compound, he has no need for a gatekeeper to control the gate or anyone to let him into his home. All he needs is a voice command, smartphone or fingerprint, and then he can access all of these wherever he is, anywhere in the world.
Let there be light.
The Nigerian techie felt a need to help people cut down electricity bills and save consumption.
Over time, we've seen people leave their home and then come back and complain that their electricity bill is piling up, forgetting to turn off their devices, and they feel that it's only when they are at home that their electricity bills will be reading. So many people forget to turn off their ACs, they forget to turn off their water heaters, they forget to turn off their electrical appliances. So I started looking for a way to help people cut down the cost of electricity.
To solve this problem, Onyeka came up with a comfortable solution through an automation systematic app. By connecting their devices to the OVO Smart app and the internet, users can control them all without moving an inch. And Onyeka tells us how he does it.
You can see when your electrical appliances is on. You can turn it off from anywhere you are in the world. If you have an impromptu guest, you can use your OVO Smart app to unlock your gates for your guest. You can unlock your door for the person. You can turn on and off all your electrical appliances from anywhere you are in the world. And with that, it helps you to save costs of electricity bills. So from our app, once you open it, you see the devices that are connected. You go to My Gates, and you can see from here that it's showing your gate is open, and from here, the gate is open. So we can lock it from here. So I've locked the gates. You can see the gates closing, and a notification will pop out to tell you that the gate is being locked. So anywhere you are in the world, you get to receive the notification. And once the gate is fully locked, you will see a green sign here with the gate being closed. So right now the gate is being closed, and that is why we are seeing a green sign that the gate is locked.
Smart home technology, often referred to as home automation, helps to improve efficiency, accommodate user preference, and provide peace of mind to homeowners. A women-only motorcycle club is breaking gender stereotypes in Tunisia, organizing rallies and events to encourage other women to ride. They aim to break the gender norm that only men are allowed to ride motorcycles. Let's take a look.
On a sunny day alongside the sea in the Tunisian capital, 5 women ride their motorcycle in single file, what they say is a rare sight in their country. One of the members of the Queen Bikers Motorcycle Club, Khadija Hassaini, says that over 300 women owned motorcycles driving license in Tunisia, but only a few practice the sport.
There are more than 300 women who have a motorcycle driving license in Tunisia and do not practice the sport because they do not feel safe or because they don't find clubs that they can belong to. So this is our goal, to establish a club for women only.
Tunisia's first female motocross champion, Chaima Ben Amour, together with the Queen Bikers crew, hope to encourage more women to join the sport, ride with them through the country, and participate in local and international rallies.
When I ride a motorcycle, I feel a different feeling. All the pressure in my life goes away. I don't feel like I'm in this world. On the road, I feel complete freedom. During motocross, I feel like I'm changing. I become something else.
The members of the club aim to challenge social stereotypes by trying to change the perception of women on motorcycles.
And that's it on the program today and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke. Have a lovely weekend.